It's not a matter of like trying to leave that relationship and trying to start another one, but to right the ship, to look at what God's plan, what God wants, and go to His graces and His power. Pope Francis talked about disillusionment in marriage, and this is really key, because a lot of times what will happen is that in marriage we'll find out that there's this expectation that we had maybe on the relationship, on the person, maybe even on ourselves, that it doesn't live up to it. You know, I didn't expect this to be like this. I thought that this, or I thought that. We have these expectations and of what we think the relationship, what we think we are, our spouse was meant to be like. And we have this kind of moment where the honeymoon phase begins to kind of go away, and we kind of fall into this disillusionment of what our expectations were. But one of the two things, one is that obviously what's important here to realize is, again, what is the purpose of marriage? You know, why did God call you to marriage? Why did God create marriage? Those answers will help us in our kind of keeping things in perspective, so they won't fall into the trap of relying on what we think the world is saying what marriage should be like, or what our emotions are saying what marriage should be like. But one of the things that Pope Francis talks about is that the power of prayer, the power of having constant, consistent prayer in our lives, that it will help us to not fall into the trap of disillusionment, that we will keep focus in our relationship with God and allowing that His grace, but allowing His plan to come visible more for us, so that we don't fall into the trap that, like, well, I expected this to be like that. Well, that's sometimes life throws things at us, but that's not our disappointment. I think is a reminder of maybe of something of what we have wrongly thought marriage to be. And so it's not a matter of like trying to leave that relationship and trying to start another one, but to right the ship, to look at what God's plan, what God wants, and go to His graces and His power to live it out. But disillusionment will come. It will try to rob happiness from couples. But if we put it in the context of what marriage is meant to be, and going to the power of prayer and allowing God's nurturing love, His relationship, abiding in Him, will help us to kind of clear the way from those moments where disillusionment will kind of try to take us off track.